Let's just start right there with this one quote. Be a story that is told, not a line that is forgotten. Wow. I mean, think about that for a second. It's it's a challenge, right? It's a question, and maybe it's even a little bit of a warning. And honestly, it's the whole reason we're talking today. So today, we're going to dive into this idea, this choice we all face between living a safe, predictable life and living one that's genuinely, truly unforgettable. And to help us figure this all out, we've got a guide. And what a guide it is. We're going to look at the wild, incredible story of a football legend named René Higuita. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about life's crossroads. And you know what I'm talking about, right? It's something we all just get. Almost every single moment, it feels like we're standing at a fork in the road. We have to make a choice about how we're going to live, how we're going to act, and really who we're going to end up being. And that's the big question, isn't it? It seems so simple on the surface, but your answer, man, it defines everything. So I'll ask you directly, which path are you choosing? So you've got two options here. On one hand, there's the safe path. You know the one. It's straight, it's calm, no big surprises. But then there's the unforgettable path. And this one, oh, it's wild, it's rugged, it's full of crazy twists and turns. Look, you might fall flat on your face. You might get a little beat up along the way. But one thing's for sure, you are not coming back the same person. And this is where our guy comes in, the legend of the mad scorpion. See, we need a real-life example here, someone who didn't just pick the unforgettable path. No, he pretty much carved it out of the mountainside himself. His name? René Higuita. And you gotta understand, he wasn't just some player. He was a force of nature, a phenomenon. They literally called him El Loco, the madman. And from day one, he had absolutely zero interest in being just another goalkeeper. He was never, ever gonna be a line that's forgotten. So what's a goalkeeper supposed to do? Pretty simple, right? Stay in the box, stop the ball from going in the net. Well, not for Higuita. This guy would charge out of his goal, he'd dribble past players who were just completely stunned, he even scored goals himself. He was a one-man revolution. But the craziest thing he ever did, the most audacious thing, that was something else. And there it is, the legendary scorpion kick. I mean, just look at it. It's a save that is so completely ridiculous, so over-the-top theatrical, honestly, so unnecessary. And yet, at the same time, it's absolutely brilliant. It became his trademark. It was pure, uncut audacity, all packed into a single moment. And it basically sums up his entire life philosophy.
But, and this is really, really important, this kind of audacity, it's a double-edged sword. There are always two sides to it, the glory and the price. Being unforgettable is never free. Nope, it always comes with a huge, massive risk.
And let's get one thing straight. René Higuita was no superhero without flaws, not even close. This isn't some happily ever after fairy tale. He was a human being. And his crazy, risk-taking style, it had real, and I mean real, high-stakes consequences. And this was the ultimate price he paid. It's the 1990 World Cup. He tries one of his signature moves, dribbling the ball way outside his box, and he loses it. The other team scores. And just like that, with one mistake, his audacity cost his entire country their spot in the World Cup. It was a national disaster, and all eyes were on him. But here's the thing. This is where the whole story kind of flips on its head. As time went on, years passed, the sting of that one mistake started to fade. People, well, they started to forget the error. But his style, his sheer guts, that's what became the stuff of legend. So when you think of him now, what do you remember? Not the one mistake, right? No. You remember a whole lifetime of courage. You remember that one-of-a-kind style. And you know what's most important? We remember that he chose always to be himself. For better and for worse. That is what he left behind. That's his legacy.
And that, right there, brings this whole thing full circle. Right back to you. See, the story of Higuita, it's not really about soccer at all, is it? It's a question. And it's a question that only you can answer for your own life. So here it is, plain and simple. A safe life that's going to be forgotten, or a crazy, unpredictable, risk-filled life that people will talk about. What's it going to be? Okay, let's think of it like this. Imagine your legacy. What do you want people to say about you when you're gone? On the one hand, they could say, wow, they never made a single mistake. Sounds perfect, right? Safe, but also kind of boring, unremarkable. But on the other hand, they could say, you know what? They were brave enough to try. And that brings us to the big takeaway here. At the end of the day, we're not remembered for being perfect. No one is. We're remembered for being distinct, for being different, for having the guts to just be ourselves. You know, a life without any mistakes, it sounds great in theory, doesn't it? But maybe, just maybe, it's a sign that you didn't really live that much at all. Maybe it just means you played it so safe, stayed so far inside the lines that you never even gave yourself a shot at creating something, anything, truly memorable. So we're going to end right where we started, with a question for you. Look, the story of René Higuita, it's been told. It's a story of incredible audacity, of spectacular failure, and of unforgettable glory. But now, the spotlight is on your story, the one you're writing right now, today, every single day. So tell me, how are you going to choose to live it?